Good morning. This is the recording for Friday, October 13th. So we're just going to dive into it without waiting. In our last session, we talked about both desire for revenge and desire for connection being evolutionary hardwired into our brain. Today, let's look at this tug of war a little bit more in depth. Whenever we are injured, we face the choice of whether to retaliate or reconnect. When we seek retaliation or revenge, it doesn't provide a long-lasting satisfaction, though. Retaliation doesn't lessen the sting of the first insult, nor does it take it away. At best, this choice is but a momentary release of energy. As Mahatma Gandhi said, when we practice the law of an eye for an eye, we all end up blind. If we understand this intellectually, though, how come it's so difficult not to get drawn into the cycle of revenge? How can we choose a cycle of forgiveness and healing instead? It may be useful for us to look in detail at this moment of choice, the instant in which we choose to either walk the path of revenge and be bound to suffering, or take the path of forgiveness and be freed into healing. Inevitably, because we are fragile and vulnerable creatures, we experience some hurt, harm, or loss. The wound can be physical, emotional, or psychological. We can be hurt with a weapon or a word. We can be slighted, rejected, betrayed. The truth is, there is no way of living with other people without at some point being hurt. And the response to hurt is universal. We all experience sadness, pain, anger, shame, or a combination of any of all of those. So now comes the moment of choice. Although for most of us our reactions are so habitual, we don't even realize we have a choice. What often happens is that we step unawares into the revenge cycle. The affront is so painful, so intolerable, that we cannot accept it. And instead of placing our hands on our hearts and weeping for what we have lost, we point our fingers or shake our fists at the one who has harmed us. Instead of embracing our sadness, we strike in anger. We feel compelled to restore our dignity by rejecting our pain and denying our grief. But when we cannot admit our own woundedness, we cannot see the other as a wounded person who has harmed us out of their own ignorance, their own pain, their own brokenness. We start rejecting our shared humanity. When the common bond between us frays, it is a very short step to demanding revenge. We think that to get back our dignity, we must pay back in kind. We retaliate. But retaliation, in turn, leads to even more hurt, more harm, more loss, which keeps the revenge cycle going and going without end. There are families, tribes, and whole nations that have been trapped in this revenge cycle for generations. While revenge may be the natural impulse, we don't have to follow its siren call. There is another way. Instead of the revenge cycle, we can choose to enter into the forgiveness cycle. It begins after hurt, harm, or loss at the same moment of sadness, anger, and shame we all experience. And instead of rejecting our pain and grief, we can accept it. The person who injured us also has a story. They have wounded us because they have stood inside their own story and acted out of pain, shame, or ignorance. They have ignored our shared humanity. When we see pain in this way, we are able to see our common bond. We might even be able to empathize with the perpetrator. We can begin to let go of our identity as a victim and their identity as a perpetrator. When we can accept both our humanity and that of the perpetrators, we can write a new story, one in which we are no longer cast as a victim, but as a survivor, even perhaps a hero. In this new story, we're able to learn and grow from what has happened to us. We may even be able to use our pain as an impulse to reduce the pain and suffering of others. And this is when we know we're healed. Healing does not mean reversing anything. Healing does not mean that what happened will never again cause us to hurt. It does not mean we will never miss those who have been lost to us or that which was taken from us. Healing means that our dignity is restored and that we are able to move forward in our lives. Of course, we can only make the choice to reconnect instead of retaliate if we remind ourselves of our shared humanity and if we manage to feel safe in the moment of hurt. So today, let's do the safety cloak exercise again to remind ourselves that we can always take a pause, and before any impulse becomes action, we can, in fact, choose what to do. As always, take a comfortable position and take a few moments to settle. Settle into your body, your heart, your mind. Settle into this moment, right here, right now. Easy and natural breath. See if you can get a sense of spaciousness in your breathing, so that all the experiences of the present moment can flow through you as energy, without struggle. When you've settled into the rhythm of your breath, allow yourself to feel a cloak of safety surrounding you like a fabric. What is the texture of this cloak? Does it have a color? Does it have a fragrance? Does it feel warm or cool? Describe this cloak in your imagination as fully as you are able, and pull the cloak around you, settling into feeling safe. What exactly does the safety feel like within you? What sensations are there in your body signaling to you that you are safe? How does the safety feel in your heart, in your mind, in your breath? Does the sense of safety stay within the borders of your body, or does it extend out a little? How far out? Rest in this sensation of safety for a few moments and just enjoy being here, knowing that for now, this is enough. There is nothing else you need to do. Just feeling safe is enough. Now place your hands on your heart and thank yourself for this deep work you've just done. With gratitude, send yourself the energy of loving kindness. Repeat after me, silently or out loud. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well in body and mind. May I feel safe, protected, at ease. May I know deep, natural peace. And as you gently let go of your practice, as always, scan your body. Notice what's going on for you right now, physically, emotionally, mentally. How are you really? And as you go through your day today, I invite you to reflect on the fact that unless there is very real physical violence directed at you, the impulse to retaliate is just an impulse. And you always have a choice to either retaliate and enter the revenge cycle or reconnect by remembering our shared humanity and enter the forgiveness cycle. You just need to take a pause and assess the situation from the place of feeling safe. So I think it would be great to make the safety cloak exercise your daily practice. It doesn't have to be more than a few seconds, just a quick reminder. I will do a post today with the diagram of the revenge cycle and forgiveness cycle so that we can all see clearly what we discussed. So look for it a little bit later in our private Mindful Mornings private circle group. Thank you so much for being here today. Enjoy your day, and I will see you tomorrow.